I'm John E. Bobo Kelly, proud resident of Anaconda. I'm the second son of Leo V. Skipper and Helen Ruth Bailey Kelly. I had 4 older sisters, an older brother, and a younger brother. Growing up in Anaconda, his father Haffey always said at that time was basically an Irish ghetto, because there was 3 Catholic grade schools, there was a Catholic hospital, there was a high school, and there was, I think, 15 so priests, 80 some nuns, and everything at that time. This is I was born in the 50s, in 1952, so it was kind of Anaconda's heyday. And we were always brought up to be proud to be Irish. My dad graduated from Mount St. Charles, which is now called Carroll College, and he always said that he put himself through Carroll during the Depression, and my mom would always be in the background going, "Bullshit!" She always said it wasn't for his brothers and sisters, he never would have made it. My dad was working for the state. He was up for promotion. The supervisor's brand new son-in-law got the job, who didn't even work in the department. So he packed up the family, went back to Anaconda. This is after he graduated from, he was living in Helena. So after he graduated from Carroll and had that job, he got a job as a clerk on the railroad. And Butte, Anaconda, and Pacific. Never quite got to the Pacific, but we always called it the back around and push railroad, BA&P. He started out as a clerk. When he retired, he was president and general manager of the railroad. He was always very proud of his Irish heritage. He said his brother Francie, my Uncle Francie, went back in the 60s and tried to go through the records and stuff in County Mayo. That's where we came from on the west side, and he said he couldn't find any records or anything. So maybe this day and age they can, but at that time they couldn't. I've been to Ireland twice myself. One time when I was in the Air Force, I spent, it was kind of my St. Patrick's Day and 4th of July parade day. It was 1976, I was in Dublin for St. Patrick's Day, and 200 of Boston's finest led the parade. Every float was in honor of America's bicentennial. It was a great day, but even though it's St. Patrick's Day, at 2 o'clock they shut down for the holy hour, the pubs, 2 to 4, which I found kind of funny, but that's the way they do things. Had a great time in Ireland. I bought what they call a Rambler Pass for the railroad and the bus lines. Enjoyed traveling through Ireland, and I went from Dunleary, Ireland, to Holyhead, Wales on the way back to England to catch my hot back. And I thought at the time, even though my ancestors were going the other way, going across the Atlantic, at that time the best thing they ever did was leave Ireland, because I met people who would work long enough to be on the dole, get certified for the dole. And then once that happened, they would go on the dole. And then they would go back again. I met a lady from Ireland who, on the train from Holyhead to London, who gave me a great insight to the Irish people. Just in our conversation, I said, well, what struck you most about Ireland? I said, well, you know, the nice white, pale skinned, all these kids all over the place. And she goes, aha, that's right. That's Irish sports. And I also mentioned the fact that about the people I met who would go on the dole, and she said, well, that's a fact you have to work around. She had a cottage out in the countryside, and she wanted to get it painted, whitewashed. And she had the local painter come out and said, well, how much will it be? And he says, it'll be 100, we'll just say 100 pounds. And she says, fine. He says, I'll pay you 100 pounds. If it's, and I said, how long will it take? And he says, oh, it will only take about a day. So, okay, I'll pay you 100 pounds if it takes a day. If it takes 2 days, I'll pay you 75 pounds. If it takes 3 days, I'll pay you 50 pounds. It was done in 1 day. Like I said, I grew up in Anaconda, as Jack did and stuff, and it's, I like Butte, it's a melting pot. In high school days, we'd always try to learn our Irish songs. Of course, we had to always sing along with Okamishka Pegla for our Croatian friends, and, different songs like that. So I've had different offices in the local AOH. My dad had different offices. I got a sister Sharon, who was state president of the Lady AOH. My children, I got a son Connor and a daughter Elizabeth. Elizabeth will be in Ireland next month. She's going there on a trip. She met Traylock Reardon by taking the Irish language classes at the U, and she's hopefully going to use some of her Gaelic when she gets over there. And like I say, it's just a great thing to be Irish. We are kind of the gypsies of the world. No matter where you go in the world, you'll always see an Irish surname somewhere in the phone book or whatever. I've been, like I said, spent time in Europe and stuff, and I saw O'Reilly's Plumbing, but it was in German. The O'Reillys was out there with the Shamrock in Vienna. So, I mean, the Irish are all over. We're the gypsies of the world. And the other thing my dad brought us up to is a strong Catholic faith, my mom and dad. And I always knew during Lent that the days were getting longer because we used to go to Mass at St. Paul's at 6:30 in the morning. Well, then we go in the dark, come back in the dark. Go in the dark pretty soon. We're going down in the dark, but we get out and start to get into the light. And pretty soon we're going in the light and coming back in the light. So, I guess it was just a way of instilling the faith in us. And while we all have our own, call it road faith trip, you have our ups and downs. I always try to stay true to the Catholic faith, and I'm proud to be Irish and proud to be Catholic.